hip-hop culture, with DJs and singing graffiti art are expressed every day within the inner cities of America and the world. You are not doing hip-hop, you are hip-hop.
Oh, man. Geez, Friday already? Yes, Friday already. And as I mentioned before, we are still running down this track. We're still running down the track of talking about women, and now we're moving into men, and we're talking about how society is not catching up. Now, this is that fictitious they. There's the they that's out there. And so society is the they. I mean, I guess you could call it groupthink when you really put it all together. Because somebody somewhere started making up some rules. I don't know, colonizers. And so we have been living a particular life because of these people and their rules. And so I got to thinking about gender roles. Gender roles. And this comes from a couple of places because, we were just discussing programming for men and how there is a need for some new programming. You may agree with it, you may not agree with it. At the end of the day, society, the way we work, live, play, entertain, all the things, it has changed. Technology, access has created some changes. And for whatever reason, those who currently are enjoying a little bit of a power play, they don't want that to change just yet. They are sticking with nope, this is the way life has to be. Boys do this, girls do that. And so we attach, I'm using we generously, okay? I'm being very gracious. But we attached gender to certain activities and toys, topics of interest, the whole 9 yards. And the fact of the matter is, playing a sport has no gender. Playing with stuffed animals has no gender. Cooking has no gender. It does not exist. Again, power play, power over. Somebody said we need to create a little something, something so that people know their role. Now, I want to tell you what's happening nowadays. Because of access, because of technology, because of, we'll put it in there, civil rights, human rights, women are making a lot of money. Far more money than their husbands in a good number of cases. Yet and still, the story, the program given to young men and boys is that in order for you to be a man, you must do these things. And the fact of the matter is that it's just not jiving. It's just not jiving anymore. And so I was on my dear friend Ron's show not too long ago. And I had an opportunity to talk about this topic that I wanted to talk about. So let me show you a clip from that conversation. Roles. When you say like parents play both roles, or women play, or some parents play both roles.
Say play both. Same with the fathers. On Mother's Day, some of the fathers play both, but technically speaking, both roles.
Okay, so here's my question, because I'm currently working on a podcast topic of gender roles. What exactly is the role of the... I am.
That's right, you are. Remember you mentioned that.
I am, right? So I'm deep in it. I am deep in it. So I had to question, like, what is the role of the mother or the father? Because what's the role?
I don't know.
Is it not just being a parent? I mean, I'm generally asking because when I think about my dad is the one who taught me how to cook. He was in the kitchen. Mother did yard work. So they were opposite of what society says a woman's role is and what a man's role is. So I'm like, so what exactly is the role?
That's a good question. I only know of what we were taught as growing up, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily correct. So that's, if you start analyzing that stuff, because in today's world, those roles are mixed anyway in a lot of cases, because the majority of homes. Let me I gotta go back to stats. Okay, I gotta remember the stats. I can't even go with the majority. I will say a lot of families in America, a lot of children are raised in single parent homes, either female.
All right, so we had a great conversation that day. If you have not watched that particular episode, I'm going to invite you to do so. But let me talk about some of these traditional gender roles. Since we're here, let's go ahead and talk about it, because this is some of the ideas what society has taught us about gender roles, that men are the providers, women are the nurturers. And you see this in the laws, education, even the job ads that were out there at that time. And, you may see a little bit of it here still. So, hey. But a man's worth was always tied to his paycheck. A woman's value was often measured by her ability to care for home and children. Okay, time out. Let me come full screen. Because we are still hearing that BS. That can she cook? Can she clean? No, can you cook? Can you clean? Because if I'm working, I'm not doing all that too. Even if I'm not working, those kinds of duties, that's a shared thing. Like this whole idea of, can you keep house? Can you keep house? Because if you want a maid, you can hire a maid. They have maid services. They can come in once a month. They can come in twice. You can figure that out. But, all right, yes. Look at our media. Religion, even fairy tales reinforce those roles that, you think of the working dad and stay-at-home mom. Like those are the default characters. And when we have these rigid roles, it's not just about women being limited, it's also for the men, because you get this very narrow definition of what is masculine. And when people don't get a chance to choose how they want to show up, they're not living their full life. Like they are not. So we gotta have a conversation about these roles, what's legit, what is, in my opinion, made up, what no longer serves us and how we live today. So let me give you some numbers, because a woman loves stats. Who doesn't love some stats? All right, so as of 2021, dads make up 18% of the stay-at-home parents in the US. That's up from 11% in 1989. And then globally, women still perform over 3 times more unpaid care work than men, averaging 4 hours and 25 minutes per day, compared to a man's 1 hour and 23 minutes. So we see a growing trend of men stepping into caregiving roles that are traditionally held by women, but it's really about being the at-home parent, because that's gender neutral. But we also still see that caregiver role is deeply ingrained for women, even as things are shifting. Yes, we are seeing some progress, but like I said, you have these younger people because somebody has to teach them. You got these younger dudes like, well, my grandmama did this and so. We ain't your grandmama, and your grandmama didn't have a choice. Women have choices now. They got a lot of choices, and they ain't got to choose to deal with you and your foolishness. So that's one of the choices. But there is still this idea that it's a woman's spot to take care of the family, keep the house, and all this other stuff. So my question is, well, whose role is it anyway? Like, that's the question. Let's talk about it. Oh man, hey, good day. It's Friday, y'all. It's Friday. And you are watching another episode of Guuuuurl Listen. I am Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Obviously, there may be some sort of interest into what we're discussing today. So I thank you for being here. This is streaming to LinkedIn. This is also streaming to YouTube. And as I always say, it is a much better experience on YouTube. It just is. So if you come on over here, I would say hello. And I would love if you would like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So that is there as well. So what can I tell you? Gender roles, people. Gender roles. Let me get right into it. I'm going to get right into the nitty gritty of why I said what I said. Let's just go back to this really quick, because we talked last week about the turning point for women and why having access to options and rights changed the pathway for women. And unfortunately, there are a number of men who have not received that message. I understand that things take their time and change. It's like the Titanic. It's a very big ship. So we are literally scraping all along the iceberg. Some of the things we see happening, the loneliness with young men, the failure to regulate emotions, that comes from, no offense, bad programming. The world is changing literally around us every day. We're not our grandmothers, because we have options. Women are choosing not to have kids, not to get married, to define the partnership they want. And if you can't match that definition, keep on walking. You know, sorry, not sorry. Let's get into some of those reasons, shall we? Let's go there. Okay. So we talk about the shift. Here it is: education, income, and opportunity. People, it is access to options. It's a smorgasbord. It's a buffet. Now, women now earn more college degrees than men in many countries, right? So not just here, worldwide, but in some households, women are the primary earners. And access to education and remote work has opened new doors. We have options. Women have options. These young ladies have options. They are not getting the same programming that we got. Now, when people talk about, well, we don't need to have gay characters, and it's just gonna, it teaches the kids that that's okay. Here's the deal about programming. As I mentioned earlier, it's in our media, it's in our fairy tales, it's in the way we define jobs. Watching Donna Reed, Leave It to Beaver, Wait Till Your Dad Gets Home, all of that told us that women belong in the kitchen, in heels and a dress and a goddamn apron all day long, serving people. That's a message. We ain't got that message. And yet I said, hey, we ain't got that message. These kids are not getting that message. So here's the message. Here's your stat. In 2023, nearly 30% of women in heterosexual marriages earned more than their husbands in the US. Now, I will say this, a good number of our research, our stats come from Pew Research. Feel free to look it up. We're not just pulling numbers from anywhere. We're getting numbers from reputable resources. But yes, it is a thing. It will continue to be a thing. Because I don't, for me, when I look at some of these young men and they create their short videos and leave their thoughts, there is this, I'm not going to call it lazy because it's not that, but there is not the same want to get out there and apply whatever their purpose is. It's just not there. There is this idea that I should be able to show up as just a guy and be able to get whatever. That's not going to cut it. We talked about this. If you look at The Color Purple, Mr. was just a man. As he's a sorry ass man at that. And his dad didn't teach him how to be a partner, how to care for. love, his spouse, his kids, and he passed on to his son. It, it's, it's a virus. It continues until someone said, we got to chop this off. So we see that, hey, I'm here, I'm hollering at you. That's the problem. You're hollering at me. You got to have a conversation. Hello, my name is this. May I figure that out? But let's talk about redefining parenthood, shall we? Let's go there. All right. So as we said before, there is a rise of stay-at-home dads and shared parenting. Nowadays, it's not about, is it an at-home mother, father? It's just at-home parents. Childcare is so out of pocket. The cost of living is so out of pocket. If you are able to work out a schedule that allows you to stay at home, depending on who is bringing in more money, then it works out. I have an old colleague, and this is from the 90s. His wife was making more than him. And he had the part-time job. So he would come in and do his 4 or 5 hours, but he was an at-home dad. And that was in the 90s. Now we know that it's been around for a while. It wasn't as widespread and it wasn't even really recognized. My dad, for a stint, he was the at-home parent. It happens. It's happening more because the cost of living is out of pocket. Now, if somebody would just work on getting us some living wages, maybe. But until then. So here is your stat. As of 2021, 23% of stay-at-home dads in the U.S. said they were home specifically to care for the home or family, up from just 4% in 1989. It was a choice. It wasn't, I have to. It was no, we're choosing. The way we're working, living, doing all the things has changed. But yet and still, we're holding on to this fairy tale of life that honestly was always a fairy tale. In my opinion, it was always a fairy tale. I don't think it was ever real. It was great in the movies. It was great on TV show. It sold a lot of, pans and soap detergent and Calgon, I guess. I don't know. Remember that? Okay, I'm showing my age. Remember the Calgon commercial? Calgon, take me away. Well, we know why she wants to be whisked away. We understand it. We get it now. Let's talk about navigating the changing expectation, because this is where things go wonky for some people. And this is where I say you really got to dig in and get into it, because things have changed. We have to talk about the reframing. You got to acknowledge that a lot of these relationships, the problem comes in with the money. Even if you had two people working and what have you, money can be a pain point. I'm getting my words out here. Hold on. I need to, let me bring it back really quick. Money can be a pain point. And that's primarily because if you think about what society said was, you man are attached to your manhood by the money you bring in, because you bring home the bacon, she cooks it. Well, your bacon is I don't know, the store brand. And then an old girl, she went out to the gourmet shop and got her some really amazing slabs of bacon, right? I mean, she was like, hey, I need that. And then she said, just for giggles, give me a slab of pork belly too. She was bringing, she's bringing a whole hog home. And for some people, for some men, it feels like an attack on their manhood and their masculinity. And so it causes mad tension in the home. If we just removed that foolishness, imagine how many healthier, happier relationships we would see. Time for some reframing. It is time for some reframing. So with that, you have to acknowledge that financial contribution is only one part of a healthy relationship. It is just one. Just one. You want to focus on shared contributing, or I should say contributions. There is no alcohol in my I said cocktail. It's actually a cappuccino. Calm down, Gwendolyn. A healthy partnership involves mutual respect, open communication, and recognizing all contributions, including emotional support, domestic tasks, and personal growth. More importantly, people got to talk, because I've met some couples. I've met some couples that don't even like each other, and they don't even talk to each other. I don't know how they're making it work, but whatever. But have those open and honest conversations about their expectations, their feelings, and how they will share responsibilities and financial decisions. I say this a couple of times. I have shared this story. When my father was ill, we had to have a family conversation. I had the most access and open availability. So sat with the husband, and he said, I think you need to go help your parents. I believe it's time that you go down there and help your parents. I'm like, okay. And we had to talk some things out, because it was getting to that place of let me pack up a bag and stay there for so many days, come back, wash clothes, see my husband, go back down. Like, that's where we were. But that was a conversation. I don't get people who don't talk to their spouses, their partners. I don't get it. How y'all don't talk about stuff? We talk about everything. We discuss a lot. But that keeps us from not holding on to things that may or may not be important in the moment. I know where he's going. He knows where I'm going. If I'm having a moment, I'm telling him I'm in a moment right now. If he's in a moment, he's like, I need a whiskey sour. I was like, he's having a moment. Let me go get something. Right? Like, we got to have a conversation here. Got to have it. We'll do that one some other time, shall we? Let's get back to it. Okay, we are challenging traditional norms. Couples can consciously move away from rigid gender roles and create a dynamic that works best for them. And then if you're having issues, get some therapy. I don't know how to say it. We have options to get therapy now. Get you some help. It's okay. If you want to make it work, make it work. If you want to really have a long-lasting relationship, partnership, you may need some help. And that's fine. You may need some help. So get your couple therapy, get your therapy, get all the things. Get some help. It's a new day, people. Cut it out. It's a new day. Cut it out. Okay? That's where we are. But you got to fix your expectations. If you were going back into it with, I'm looking for Susie Q, I'm looking for Donna Reed, I believe this. There should be a dating app that says, I'm like traditional person, something. Like, do that, because it does not work to take a person who is free flowing and not living a life of tradition and wanting to change them. That's stupid. Yeah, I said that. It's stupid. Because you can't change people. It's not your job anyway. Get you the right person. Know who you are first, but get you the right person. But let it be known that these roles, they're not set. There is no gender. Now, my husband, he likes to grill. So I let him grill. I'm going to make sure that the food is seasoned properly, because I love to cook. Cooking is my love language. That's why I like to cook. That's why I'm in the kitchen. That's my spot. Don't get in my kitchen. Don't move stuff. Love him dearly. Don't wash my dishes. I got it. But that's me, right? Even when he puts them in the dishwasher, I'm like, look at this. Now, I've never told him that. And if he watches this episode, he'll probably hear it. But I don't even like to see him do that. Because that's my spot. So let me go ahead and get us wrapped up. We may have to come back to this topic. So there's a couple of things in terms of upcoming events. I do want to say this before I forget, because it is Friday, right? We, of course, do have Guuuuurl Listen on all the places where you can get your podcast. So Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Indie Suit Media. And because I mentioned Indie Suit Media, it is that G is Fire Fridays. So we have started here. We're going to roll on over to Indie Suit Media, where there is a repeat session, encore session of Girl Listen and Ladies Listen Up. We're in our encore time right now, so I highly invite you all to go over there, check it out. We also have every single Thursday, 1 to 4, and typically it goes past 4, so you come and go as you see fit. But we have the Each One Teach One, Work and Chill, Work, Connect, and Thrive. We have a good time over there, like an amazing good time over there. So I invite you all to come over, come chill. It is best on a laptop, desktop, tablet. You can use your phone, you can, but we're on the Go Brunch platform, and it just works better if you have that as your base versus your phone. But come in, come vibe out with us, see what's going down. Get yourself some really cool things. Got to give a shout out to my friends at 𝐈𝐓'𝐻'𝐿 Optical, because they keep me fly with my glassware. You can also book a risk-free consultation. They do style you virtually. So you can go to glitzopticalonline.com to get yourself set up there. We have Tuesday, July 29th. This is our third installment of Lights, Camera, Subscribers. If you're trying to get your YouTube together, you want to work with some people, come and join us. We work as a group. We believe in co-working together. There's no need to struggle by yourself, right? You put all the brains together. Everyone brings their genius, and we can all thrive together. It is definitely possible. So lights, camera, subscribers. Yeah, we're doing that over there. And before I let you guys go, because I have to talk about it, my dear friends of the conference call, we are still looking at RuPaul All-Stars.
Hello, and this is the recap show. My name is Chris Edwards, and I'm here with my other two co-hosts.
I'm Ronald. TJ.
Yeah, and we do a recap show every week for Drag Race. We'd love for you to like our videos, subscribe, and to hit the notification button so you can get notified every time we drop new videos. Every week we bring you lots of fun commentary and our take on what Drag Race is. So just keep it locked here on the conference call every week. We drop new videos every Monday at noon. See you guys then.
Bye.
Man, RuPaul is coming to Dallas in August. No, September. No, is it August? It's August. Yeah, the tickets. Part of me really wants to go. I really want to go, but then I keep thinking to myself, I'm not great in really big crowds like that. Like, I haven't done that stuff for like forever. I don't think it's good for me, but we'll see. If I get my mind right, I may just get out there and see. I believe he's doing a DJ set. So I'm like, ugh. I'm tempted, and yet and still I'm like, Gwendolyn, girl, you don't have that heart. You don't have that heart. So 2 more things. Events. All these events, just in case you didn't know, they are on my Luma calendar. There is a link in both bios at the link tree in YouTube, also my Instagram and LinkedIn. You can get on there and see all the things happening, just in case you're like, I don't know what's going down. Well, it's going down there. But if you want to see what's going on, you could always just get on the GRH Jack email list and get it there as well. Keep you guys up to date. It's July, which means it's time for family. So, in my head. Now, I know you're thinking, but it's not officially July. Work with me. I work in the future. Okay? Gwendolyn stays in the future. That's all I want to. So in my head, yeah, it's July because this is it. Like this is it. So with that, we're planning for a lot of good things, some family time, which I'm so excited about. And I am planning for the fall. So if that ain't it, Gwendolyn, girl, come on now. Come on. There you go. If you're ready for your fall sessions, and that includes the holidays, then G Photography by G. Yeah. Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston. Gwendolyn gets in, and we get in there, and we love destination portrait sessions. Love it dearly. With all of that said, let me go ahead and tell you that we're going to close it out. And I want to say to bring in July, we're going to talk about independence. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to talk about it, but we're talking about independence, okay? I'm going to see you guys later. Play the outro, Gwendolyn. Hey, it's G. Thank you for watching this episode of Guuuuurl Listen. Be sure to catch me every Friday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. And while you're here, I cordially invite you to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you all next week.